Welcome to this channel. This channel is for education and culture based on historical and scientific evidence. So in the previous few videos, I have shared many things on the momentum current. So as the ancient defined it, the bottom line of fighting martial arts is the handling of that momentum current, meaning if one do not know how to handle the momentum current, one cannot be proficient in their martial arts or fighting art. It is this clear. Now, that is one thing which is supporting the momentum current. Extremely important. Without this, one will not be able to handle the momentum current. So, what is it? Wing Chun is a Shaolin art. In Shaolin, there's a saying, 打拳必须装气. You practice fighting, you practice martial art, you should install 气, 装气. So what is this qi? You heard about this qi. Is it qi from a galaxy far, far away? Qi of the universe? Qi of the spiritual? Qi of the Taiji, yin and yang? No, it's not those philosophical nonsense or fantasy. Qi here, meaning breathing, handling of breathing, and the handling of the intra-abdominal pressure, IAP, intra-abdominal pressure. So the ancient, the Shaolin, the Qi Ji Guang, the Wing Chun 1850s, when they say 打拳必须装气, you train in martial art or fighting art, you need to install qi. In today's language, it means one need to develop one's breathing, proper breathing, and proper handling of intra-abdominal pressure. Okay? So here I want to use the today's sports science term to tell you exactly what that qi is. What exactly the qi one must install so that there's no ambiguity. We cannot afford another 140 years of everybody is a grandmaster, everybody define whatever the Chinese term. Okay? So let's look into it. You need to, or you want to do the momentum current. Okay? You cross in, cross in, cross in. You want to have that momentum current. You need to have that qi. And that qi meaning one need to know how to breathe properly. And one need to know how to handle the abdominal or internal abdominal pressure. Okay? Intra-abdominal pressure. So then you ask me a question. Why is this? Well, one need to breathe like in today's sports. One need to develop a good aerobic base. And then only with the aerobic base, one develop the peak performance handling, which is in the anaerobic. Without a proper, a firm aerobic base, one will run into all sort of stuff, and one will not get to the real peak of one's training or one's capability. So you need to have a proper breathing to develop that proper aerobic base, and then only after one have that aerobic base developed, one go into the strength training, the speed training, and get to the peak. Of course, you're going to get into the anaerobic, because at the speed, you know you're dealing with momentum already, because momentum is mass multiplied by speed. Your body is the mass multiplied by speed. So there's the part of your cardio respiratory handling. Okay? Now, on the other hand, one need to know how to handle the intra-abdominal pressure. Why? Because when I drive in with my momentum, okay, I do it slowly. When I drive in with my momentum, I need to have a stable spine, pelvis handling, or the hip and lower back handling. Shoot in, look at this part from this, the thigh up here, hip to my lower back. You shoot in, you have to have that ability of a really stable core. So you can drive in. Okay? And then you continue drive in. We cannot afford wobbling around. Where this part, the lower back and the hip, is wobbling around like that. Okay? When you shoot in, your entire thing go. It's not, this is wobbling. How to handle those things so that it's stable? Well, your intra-abdominal pressure. And in the same time, your breathing deep. Okay? So qi, it just mean that. So you have to satisfy your aerobic base training, and on top of the aerobic base, you get into the strength, the speed, get into the peak where you're going to engage into the anaerobic and VO2 max and all those kind of stuff, but you have a very good aerobic base. Well, there's one part. Another is this, your core stability, which is you need to have your intra-abdominal pressure handled properly. At the high speed, there's no room for wobbling. If you wobble, on the other hand, or another side, another face of the coin, if you wobble, it means that you cannot breathe properly. If you cannot breathe properly, you cannot handle the intra-abdominal pressure, because the breathing and intra-abdominal pressure today, we know that there's a continuum there, a balance, a handling there. So qi is that. Okay? So if you use the term I have shared before, the three level of internal in the Xiulim Tao sets, the five level of transportation, five level of transportation, all it boils down to these two things. The breathing, you need the oxygen, aerobic base, and so forth, so forth. Training in the one side, recovery on the other side. You need the intra-abdominal pressure handling. Otherwise, you cannot do it. You cannot have the momentum current because you are in wobbling, unstable. You cannot use the momentum to drive your opponent in the three-dimension space. Okay? So, you need to install the qi. Now you know what exactly is qi in today's sports science language. So now we clearly know one side is the momentum current, another side is the internal training, the breathing training, the intra-abdominal pressure training. That's called internal. And you know the outcome is that you be able to handle the core, go high speed. You don't run out of breath. You can go, say, 10 minutes, high speed, high intensity. You need to train that way. And then if you get old, like me, 60 something, no longer doing those stuff, we get back to the aerobic base. That's for the help, to help the people or the body. Okay? So now you can see all the Chinese qi thing boil down to the sport science clearly. If you don't have these two things developed, guaranteed you are not going to be able to face today's martial arts, sport martial arts. So don't say Wing Chun is designed for street fighting. Until one have this, the breathing and intra-abdominal pressure handling, where at high speed be able to drive the body with the stability to drive the momentum, and then to form that momentum current. One really don't have anything at all. There's no power there. There's no continuity there to run through. Okay? That's why in my book, Wing Chun Matrix, which is about a 4-year-old book already, I translate that from Shaolin Sword Strike. It says this. Transportation of force is based in breathing. The handling of breathing depends on lower abs operations. If the breathing is not at lower abs, but at the chest, the handling of legs and footwork will not be solid. How will this defeat the opponent? Breathing is strength, the root of martial arts. This is from Shaolin Sword Strike. So today I tell you what exactly they are in the sports science term, so everybody know what it is. Okay? Don't live in a world which is in the movie. You look at past 140 years of Wing Chun or other traditional Chinese martial arts. How many martial arts do you see this kind of development of the momentum current and the breathing and intra-abdominal pressure handling. Now, today people talk about the Xiu Lim Tao. You have to clamp your knee, depend on your lineage or school, and then you have to tuck your tailbone, and then you have to straighten your spine, and then you have to use your mind power. Disregard of what? And then somebody even importing Tai Chi have to have this Qi internal. Disregarding of what? If you cannot handle that intra-abdominal pressure, like in the Shaolin Sword Strike said, you cannot breathe deep. Because your deep breathing and your intra-abdominal pressure, they are actually one thing, a coin with a two faces. You don't have this part of training. So past 140 years, face it, your Xiu Lim Tao don't have this. That's why you cannot fight this close. Why? Because when I fight this close, or anybody fight this close, they need to have this core stability here. Because the knee is jamming at him, crushing him. The body is pressurizing him. Unless one have this breathing and the intra-abdominal pressure training, one will not have the core to do the job. That's why you end up with people doing this these days. Qi Sao here, standing this far away. Praying wooden dummy, you're standing this far away. You never insert in, exert the force in, the momentum in, and then continue on. You cannot do it. Why? You don't have the breathing training. So in one way, it's violating the ancient teaching. On the other way, today's sports science have already reached to the point it be able to decode what the ancient 1850 Wing Chun is presenting, or Shaolin Sword Strike or General Qi Ji Guang is presenting. So in one way, one don't know what is the ancient. On another way, one no longer par with the sports science. So you face the MMA, Western boxing friends, judo friends who train this way in the modern sports science. You know what is the outcome. You know why is for decades the outcomes like that. Because you have a serious missing core there. Your momentum, current, and your breathing is no longer there. So this is what I like to share with you. Now, yesterday somebody said that, Hendrik, are you hate the 1960 version of Wing Chun, or whoever in the past 140 years of Wing Chun? My reply to him is this. I look forward for a future of Wing Chun. Whatever past is past. Whatever people don't have, they better accept that, admit that. Because it is the future of Wing Chun which is important. And we know today, the ancient mean future. Why? I just share with you. What is Qi? Qi training means aerobic based training. On top of the aerobic base is your strength training, your speed training, your peak training. You go up there. On the other side is your intra-abdominal pressure development. And then, of course, you want to handle momentum, you need to have the muscular endurance, muscular strength and endurance. It is really general and common in today's sport science, sport martial arts, like Olympic. How can you always claim that Wing Chun is for street fighting, but you have no clue on all these things? Past 140 years, you check around, there is nothing there, and everybody promote your Xiulim Tao will develop this, develop that, develop that. All kind of mysterious magic stuff. That's not what the ancient ancestor present. That cannot be catch in today's sports science world. So that's what past 140 years. I don't hate anybody. I don't blame anybody. I don't put down anybody. But that's reality. If one do not accept that reality and move on, what is one doing? But that everybody have their freedom to do whatever they want. My choice is I need to present this because I see it. Without that, there is no future. So I'm not here selling movie. I will be showing you this technique like in the movie or this grandmaster in the movie do anything. I don't. I just say Wing Chun better satisfy the basic of today's sports science martial arts, or else you don't have martial arts. You have ceremony, you have ritual, you have belief, but you don't have martial arts.